Welcome to the Blockchain Philosopher channel. Today we're taking a slight detour and focusing our attention on one of the fundamental concepts of blockchain. That would be cryptography. Today we're traveling 4,000 years through time to uncover the incredible story of cryptography, the science of keeping secrets. Cryptography is the very essence of the blockchain and ultimately Bitcoin. From hieroglyphs carved in tombs to the unbreakable math that powers Bitcoin, this is how hidden messages change the world. Stick around to the end for the mind-blowing connection that made cryptocurrency possible. For most of history, cryptography was about secrecy in war and diplomacy. Cryptography is older than you think. The word comes from ancient Greek, kryptos meaning hidden and graphene meaning to write. Around 1900 BCE in Egypt, scribes replaced common hieroglyphs with secret ones on tomb walls to protect sacred knowledge, the world's first known cipher. In ancient Greece, the Spartans invented the cytale, a wooden staff wrapped with a leather strip. Write your message lengthwise, unwrap it, and it becomes gibberish, until the recipient wraps it around an identical staff. Genius. By 50 BCE, Julius Caesar was using the Caesar cipher, simply shifting every letter 3 places to the left. Then, in the Renaissance, came the Vigenère cipher, a polyalphabetic system using a secret keyword. It was so strong it was nicknamed the unbreakable cipher. Finally, World War II saw the creation of the German Enigma machine, which was ultimately cracked by Alan Turing and his Bletchley Park team, shortening the war by an estimated 2 years. Cold War-era cryptography was dominated by governments. Crucially, ordinary people had almost no access to strong cryptography. It was classified, controlled, and centralized. Everything changed with the advent of the computer age with the question, how do two strangers securely talk over an open network without meeting first? The breakthrough occurred in 1976, when Whitfield Diffie and Martin Hellman introduced the idea that, instead of one shared key, you now have 2 keys, a public key anyone can use to lock a message, and a private key only you can use to unlock it. No more secure secret couriers needed. You could share a public key openly while keeping a private key secret. 1 year later, in 1977, 3 MIT researchers, Ron Rivest, Adi Shamir, and Leonard Adelman, created RSA encryption, with the name referring to their 3 initials. This was revolutionary. You no longer needed a secret channel to start secure communication. Cryptography became usable on early computers. RSA is a way to lock a message so only one person can read it or prove a message came from you. It uses 2 keys, public key, which is seen by all, and the private key, which only you can see. Simple analogy, the mailbox. Think of RSA like a special mailbox. You put a mail slot on your house, public key. Anyone can drop letters in, but only you have the key to open it, private key. Result, people can send you secrets, but only you can read them. Let's explore deeper how RSA works. Step 1. You create 2 keys, a public key that is shared with everyone, and a private key which is kept secret. These are mathematically linked through what would later be called elliptic curve cryptography. This is a big word for a simple concept. A mathematical formula like 2x equals y is easy to compute in one direction, but nearly impossible to reverse engineer. Step 2. Someone sends you a message. They take your public key, use it to encrypt, lock the message. Step 3. You receive it. You then use your private key to decrypt, unlock the message. Only your private key can reverse what the public key did. Why is this secure? RSA relies on one hard problem. It's easy to multiply 2 huge prime numbers, but extremely hard to reverse it or factor them. Example. 61 times 53 equals 3,233. Easy, but try to reverse this. Find 2 mathematical components of 3,233. Very hard, especially for large numbers. In real RSA, numbers are hundreds of digits long. Even powerful computers can't realistically break it. Let's give a second example of RSA, digital signatures. In this case, RSA works in reverse. You encrypt with your private key, others use your public key to verify it. This proves the message came from you. It wasn't altered. This is how secure websites, HTTPS, software downloads, and blockchain transactions verify authenticity. So why is RSA important for the creation of a currency like Bitcoin? RSA introduced a critical idea. Ownership equals control of a private key. Even though Bitcoin uses a different algorithm called elliptic curves, the concept comes directly from RSA. Your wallet equals your private key. Your address is derived from your public key. No RSA, no modern digital cryptography, no Bitcoin. To conclude on RSA lets anyone lock a message for you, but only you can unlock it, using math instead of trust. Okay, now that we have a little understanding of RSA encryption, let's go back to our history of cryptography discussion. In the late 80s and 90s, a group known as the Cypherpunks emerged. Key figures included Timothy C. May, Eric Hughes, and Hal Finney. Their belief, privacy through cryptography, not governments, will shape the future. They and their colleagues built tools like PGP, Pretty Good Privacy, by Phil Zimmermann, anonymous remailers, and early digital cash concepts. This era introduced the philosophical foundation of blockchain, including decentralization, trust minimization, and mathematics over institutions. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, programmers began to focus on digital money. David Chaum created DigiCash, Nick Szabo proposed BitGold, and Wei Dai designed B-Money. These systems introduced critical ideas: digital scarcity, cryptographic ownership, and peer-to-peer exchange. But they all failed for one fundamental reason: a concept known as double spending. What is double spending? Digital information is infinitely copyable. If you send someone a digital coin, what stops you from copying it and sending it again to someone else? This is the double spending problem. Before Bitcoin, the only reliable fix was a central server like a bank that tracked balances and transactions. This reintroduced the very thing cypherpunks wanted to eliminate: trusted third parties. But why was double spending so hard to solve? The challenge combined several deep problems. First, consensus, the Byzantine generals problem. How do strangers agree on one version of truth without trusting each other? Then there is timestamping. Which transaction happened first? Thirdly, what stops one person from pretending to be thousands of users? This is known as a Sybil attack. Finally, no central ledger. Without a central authority, who keeps the official record? For decades, no one solved all of these at once. Then in 2008 came Satoshi Nakamoto and a white paper that appeared to solve the double spending problem. Bitcoin's innovation was not a single invention, but a combination: a blockchain, linked immutable ledger, proof of work mining to secure consensus, decentralized validation, and economic incentives for honesty. This finally solved double spending without a central authority. Bitcoin didn't invent cryptography. It masterfully combined everything that came before. Bitcoin only became possible because earlier cryptographers developed hash functions or tamper-proof data linking digital signatures, RSA, later elliptic curve encryption, or proof of ownership. Then they created the proof of work concept, a computational cost to prevent spam. Finally, they created peer-to-peer networking concepts. Each of these pieces existed, but no one had assembled them into a full system. So Bitcoin clearly depends on early cryptographers. Without the 1980s, 1990s pioneers, no public key cryptography, and therefore no digital wallets, no digital signatures, therefore no ownership, no cypherpunk philosophy, that is, no decentralized vision, and no proof of work, therefore no consensus mechanism. Bitcoin is, in essence, the culmination of 30-plus years of cryptographic evolution. So here's the recap. Pre-1970s, secret state-controlled cryptography. 1970s, 80s, Mathematical breakthroughs, public key crypto. 1990s, the privacy movement plus digital money experiments. Then in 2008, the Bitcoin white paper solves the double spending problem. Final thoughts. The early cryptographers didn't just invent tools, they changed the idea of trust itself. From institutions to mathematics, from Egyptian tombs to the blockchain, cryptography has always been about protecting information and empowering people. What started as secret messages for pharaohs and generals now secures trillions of dollars in cryptocurrency. Be sure to visit this channel again to view many examples of how the blockchain can offer solutions to everyday problems.